Keeping track of customer health, where do you even start with that? With so many signals flying around, it's easy to get lost in all of that data.
Too many signals, too much noise, probably making it harder for yourself than what it needs to be.
We see that a lot, don't we? An excuse to not take action. We just need one more signal to make sure that we're really onto something here. What are the signals that we are proponents of that drive retention for B2B SaaS companies?
Engagement score, an activation rate, feature adoption, count level. Not all events are equal. You actually need a weighted scoring system.
What should carry the most weight?
Your product usage and your engagement trends. Simple as that.
My favorite part about this is that it actually takes you from this reactive stance, from, someone just left, to this looks to me like they might be winding down their usage, their engagement's dropping. So you can start to actually be proactive, like fighting churn and increasing retention. Hi, my name is Pete Preston. Welcome back to Marketplace Growth by Accoil. I'm joined by Kate. We're talking again about customer health scores and a 3-step process that people can go about finding these. If you haven't watched the earlier videos in this series about what is a customer health score and how to build one, I recommend that you go check out those. They're on the channel. But Kate, welcome back. Good to have you again.
Hello, everybody.
So let's start at the top here and define what customer health is from your point of view.
Well, I think about it in 3 ways. One is engagement. Are they using your features constantly? Activation. Have they successfully started using your product? And the third thing is value. Are they getting the results from using your tool?
A lot of teams try to track everything that could possibly indicate all of those things. I think value is one of those as well. And engagement is another one where we see all sorts of different signals trying to be tracked. We're pretty strongly of the opinion that that's a mistake. Why? What's wrong with trying to take in too many signals?
Personally, I strongly feel too many signals, too much noise. And if you're trying to track every little thing, support tickets, attendance, NPS scores, email opens, webinar attendance, and it kind of gives you a measure, but I think you're probably making it harder for yourself than what it needs to be. And again, we're talking about at that level of just trying to get yourself to the next step. It's not trying to create a rocket ship.
Yeah, I think we see that a lot, don't we? So it's almost like an excuse to not take action is we just need one more signal to make sure that we're really onto something here. If you are looking at the signals, what have you boiled this down to? What are the signals that we are proponents of that drive retention for B2B SaaS companies?
Things like engagement score, got to have an activation rate, feature adoption, and then you've got to have some way of actually looking at your trends. And I would strongly counsel people to look at it at an account level. Your individual users are important. A lot of people look at event counts and go, oh yeah, I've got lots of events happening at this particular action. But they're looking at it an individual perspective. I'm saying, no, you actually have to have the sum of the individuals. The individuals show you how well they're engaging on an individual, but collectively it is at the account level.
Yeah, and we see people trying to use like product analytics tools to look at all of that data, right? And the question that we always ask is like, so what, right? You can see all this activity, but what does it mean? As well, a lot of these tools are not built for B2B. It's really user first, and then you can kind of try to work your way into the account level stuff. But if you can aggregate that up to see how healthy an account is, because let's be honest, it's business to business. You want the account to be healthy, not just the individual users in that.
Yep. And you just cut to the chase faster. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Cut to the chase.
Cut to the chase. I'm going to do that now. All right. So we've got the right signals. How do we actually measure how healthy a customer is? And by customer, I should say too, this is the account, right? How do we actually measure how healthy our accounts are?
Not all events are equal. And again, people get fixated on total counts. You actually need a weighted scoring system, and you can manually do that or you can use a tool for it.
You said not all events are created equal. I'm a big fan of saying that. That one seems to resonate a lot. There are actions that people can take in our products that indicate more value or engagement or stickiness than others. So I think it's important to define what those are for your product. We also talk about that not all of these signals are equally as important, right? So if we're talking about things like product engagement versus, say, an NPS, equal, not equal.
I knew you were going to use that one, Pete. Your personal fave. NPS. Everyone loves it. For those, it's a net promoter score. And in our world, I think it's overvalued. It does tell you how someone feels in the moment, but it really doesn't tell you whether they're actively engaged, what they've actually done in your product. And I think for me, whenever I get those things, if I've got a human being that I know is going to be impacted by a negative score, I always score it up. If I know it's this faceless bureaucracy, I score it down unless they've really done a good job. Absolutely no relation to the product at all. No relation to the product at all.
Yeah.
Their brand might be on the nose and I score them accordingly regardless of how good they do.
I I love that story. I know we've talked about that a few times and how we've seen NPS used over the years and just, or attempted to be used both from the business side and the user side.
But in fairness, you can get some decent comments out of it, feedback from it.
I think that's it. There is some value. I don't find much value in the score. I think that seems pretty meaningless to me, but it is a decent way of getting people to actually write a bit of a review or give you an indication as to what they do or don't like. So NPS is down the list. What's up the list? What should carry the most weight? We're talking, again, B2B SaaS companies that are looking for a quick way to measure, engage customer health.
Your product usage and your engagement trends. As simple as that. The customer health is your product usage and your engagement trends. You can do that manually and you've got to keep it up on a consistent basis, or you can actually get a system that does it. And Accoil does that for you. It weights your engagement score so you can instantly see who's thriving and who's at risk. So you can actually then do something about it.
Like, my favorite part about this is that it actually takes you from this reactive stance from like, someone just left, to this looks to me like they might be either winding down their usage, their engagement's dropping, something along those lines. You can start to actually be proactive with your customer health data and you're like fighting churn and increasing retention. And as a customer success team, I think that pivot is a huge, huge thing for any company, right? Going from responding to what has already happened to kind of getting ahead of that curve. We won't go into the details of that in this video, but there's a world of opportunities that you can find in that data. Now that we've talked about what to track and maybe what not to track, and we know how to score it, what are you going to do with this data?
You got to put it somewhere to act on it, don't you, Pete? You've kind of got to recognize you have your signals. So let's talk about some of those. So you've got your customer engagement score. If it drops, okay, you have a signal for that and you send it to your customer support success team or your customer support, whoever is responsible for talking. They get a real-time alert to say, this is going down, and you pipe it into an intercom, you pipe it into a HubSpot, you pipe it to Slack. You've got a new trial user and they're highly engaged. You can pipe that signal to sales and say, hey, we've got a live one here. They're reasonably well activated, probably worth a conversation. If a power user is not using a key feature, you can act on that. You can get support to do that. But even more importantly, you can tell marketing to say, this feature is not getting the traction, and you can start to design your content around that. And then the part that because I always love support, as you know, having to where you can actually pipe engagement scores into help desk tickets so that when someone raises a ticket and says, can I have this help? You actually have some sense of how sophisticated, how well they're using, how not they're using. So that's like piping to a Jira Service Management or an intercom. Instead of guessing, you have clear insights in real time.
Yeah. If a power user isn't using a key feature, that actually can go to a lot of different teams. And the way I look at this is support would love to know that. Marketing would love to know it. Success would love to know it. That may be a sales thing or account management if you're looking at expansions or something like that. It's all that opportunity to add more value to a customer. And I think that can work across teams.
But it is a good point.
It's really valuable data, right? Just across teams and not just stuck in that customer success space. I think support plays such a huge role in customer retention, but that's a different thing, something to noodle on. Okay, so let's recap here. You are looking at your own product here. Define what matters, what's important, what's valuable to customers. How are you going to score that? So how important are each of these signals and how quickly can you act on that? So automation is a huge thing there. And can you do all this without drowning in data? Stop guessing, stop sort of putting your finger in the wind, get real insights that help you retain and grow your customers. And if you want to do it yourself, it's totally possible. Spreadsheets make it happen. Or if you want to try Accoil out, click a link below in the description. You can get in there, have a free trial today, and you can even schedule a call with Kate and I.
Yeah, love to chat to you guys.
Would love it. Yes. So that's customer health scores and putting them into practice. Anything else to send us off with, Kate?
Just more sales to you people.
Thanks for coming again. See you soon.